We have a lot of info that's about to just be covered under the combine umbrella. All right. So I'm going to just go down the list as we get to talking about it. All right. So first thing I did want to speak on, though, was TJ Watt, man. We did get some updates, man. Jerry Dulac, he was either, I forgot who he was speaking to directly, but from his reports, man, he was specifically asked if a TJ Watt contract extension, does he think that could be happening? And does he think it could happen, before the new league year, which is starting in 2 weeks? And he said, it's a pretty good chance that does get taken care of. And obviously, man, whenever you get that type of, comment, and obviously from a guy like Jerry, who I tell you personally, like, he knows his stuff because he is around it. And that's why a lot of times he's usually closer to the right answer than not, because of who he's around. And I know the dude he be around. So I'm like, yeah, bro, you know a lot. All right. You locked in. So with that, though, man, in terms of TJ Watt, we obviously know this is the dude that just finished up as a finalist again for a Defensive Player of the Year. Right. We obviously know he won it before, but this year, man, finishing as a finalist for the second time now, for another time. Now here we are, and we obviously had the conversation about, where we felt we would be wanting to go roster-wise earlier this offseason, right? When the season ended, it was like, yo, we're all in the heart of it emotionally. We hot, we heated, and it's like, hey, bro, man, I don't like this, man. We need to go ahead. I don't want to trade him, but restructure, man. Take some of that off of him. Then we had other people like, hey, man, why don't you trade TJ, man? It's no use in keeping him here. It's nothing good going to come from it. And for him, you're wasting his time. Then we saw Myles Garrett at one point ask for a trade request. And we're like, man, all right, is TJ going to be next to do that same thing? But that wasn't the case. So we did like that. But now, obviously, when you're talking about the extension element of it, that's what gets intriguing for multiple factors here, right? When you first talking about TJ, we know the big thing with his deal was he going to get 30 per year or not? And we saw right where he landed, right at that number, right? But that set him up to be the highest paid defender in the history at that time. We know it was probably a week later when Nick Bosa went ahead and got the new highest paid deal, and then he was the highest paid guy of all, highest paid defender of all time. So part of that, I think, of the timing, because who do we know is coming up on new deals? Micah Parsons, for certain, in Dallas, wants a new deal. We know that's the big deal that's looming. And then Myles Garrett, we know he was talking about a trade request, but the Browns have said they don't want to trade him. And then more recently, I think it was today, I saw where Myles Garrett said, as long as, they make him what's it called? A generational contract offer or a historical contract offer or a contract extension, that he would be open to staying. So you know what that means. So as it pertains to these pass rushers, there are about to be two other big fish that are about to try to reset this market. So the way it typically works, if you're the organization, he who sets the market first wins. Okay? He who sets the market first wins. When you set the market first, if you're TJ Watt right now, you can go out there and get him a deal for $38 million, which sounds like a lot for a non-quarterback position. Yes. And it would be an upgrade off of TJ's current pay grade. Yes. But when you look at TJ's body of work, you look at the accolades, you look at where he most recently did this past season, even on a quote unquote down year for him, he still was a finalist, right? Defensive Player of the Year. So when you throw all of those factors in, another team would pay him close to 40, maybe even more. So if you could get his deal done on the front end at 38, now that puts more pressure on the Myles Garrett camp, depending on if it is still in Cleveland or elsewhere, to up that number past 38. Now you got to pay 39 or you got to pay the 40. Now, whoever gets that deal done, the last person is who? Now you got Micah Parsons. Now you got to give him the big boy deal. And if those guys are getting 38 and 39, he's going to want to top that. So that's why I say he who gets the deal done first wins, because in this scenario, those other two dudes, man, are going to try to push that number and reset the market. And once that happens, it changes how we can negotiate with the TJ Watt. Unless TJ out the kindness of his heart is just saying, man, I'm going to take this number and I'm not going to go above that number. But the way agents work are, hey, when we saw the last negotiation with TJ, mainly because we got some backstory information, right, about guarantees outside of year one. It was a big sticking point, but the Steelers did change that rule for TJ. Shout out to TJ because he liked that and he deserved it. But if that is the case this time, it's like, man, the longer we wait to get that deal done, the more, number one, it's going to cost us, but also the longer it could play out. And those are some of the things, man, that I'm thinking of when I saw the report from Jerry Dulac that, yeah, the Steelers are, more than likely going to be getting a deal done with TJ to extend him. I'm like, I'm all good at 37, 38 M's. Get it done first, though. Don't allow Myles Garrett to get his deal done because he's going to come in around 39. He's trying to get 40. Don't let Parsons come in first, all right? Because they trying to get around 39, 40, and that puts it back on us to be paying that. And we know even with the cap increase and record number now, $279.2 million is what the cap has ballooned to or will balloon to. So for the Steelers, as we currently sit, we're right at about $60 million, and that's prior to us doing anything additionally, all right? Contract extension included. Depending on how much we do signing bonus wise, you could even create a little bit more breathing room, man. So now, as I'm sitting here, I'm just like, we don't need to wait. Let's get it done. We know who TJ is as a player. We know we have an excess of salary cap space, so we can get his deal done and still feel good about whatever we're trying to do elsewhere if it's one of these quarterbacks, because even with that, it's getting kind of wild right now, man. When I'm seeing some of the reports, it's like, all right, 1 minute is Russ, 1 minute is not Russ, 1 minute is Fields, 1 minute is not Fields. It's a lot going on with these quarterbacks, all right? But we're going to talk about that. But that's the thing for me, man. With TJ, I'm like, when you got generational players, when you have marquee guys, top 3 dudes at their position, you get that deal done. You don't allow those dudes to play into contracts where there's no guarantees remaining, or you allow those dudes to get disgruntled to the point where now they're asking to be traded. TJ has been a heck of a player since joining this organization, both on and off the field, and there is no inkling of, yeah, man, this is about to age terribly, man. Don't give him no extension. Now, I ain't saying give him a 5-year deal. I ain't saying that. But the same way we looked at Cam, man, the extension prior to this one, I'm over here in the same kind of thought process and like, yeah, let's go ahead and get you another 3-piece on this real quick. Let's keep that thing rolling. And then after that, man, we can reassess. We can see where we're at with it. But to me, man, you want to keep TJ here. You want to keep TJ happy. And we are a better team with TJ than we are without him. I know some people are on the notion of, man, trade TJ, get as much back as you can with assets before signing him, and then roll with Nick Herbig and Alex Highsmith. As much as I am a fan of Nick Herbig and Alex Highsmith, I do feel that their production would take a little bit more of a hit if you completely remove TJ Watt from the building. I'm not talking about TJ Watt missing time. I'm not talking about TJ Watt having a quiet game. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm saying if TJ Watt's not on this roster, I think those guys are impacted in a negative way, man. TJ is a heck of a player, a generational pass rusher, generational talent, arguably one of the best pass rushers that ever come through the black and gold. I mean, you could, because he is that guy, all right? Statistically, at least. So with that, I don't feel like, man, we should be looking to try to cut corners or save costs and not do a deal with him and try to move on from him. I think he still has plenty of juice left in the tank, and he doesn't even talk like he's looking to retire or anything like that. So that's why for me, man, I'm big time team TJ. And then it doesn't even count that I'm biased on top of that because, like I said, I seen him rookie year. That's the locker dude. Come on in here, little dude, man. Let's get to work and watch this dude shine, man. So with that, it's like, yeah, man, I'm loving every bit of how he has been aging, and I don't see him slowing down, man. And I think that he's one of those true staples, one of those true black and gold guys, man, that represent the organization the way that you wanted to be represented. And yeah, you just got to rock out with the homie, man. So I like that report right there from Jerry Dulac. Shout out to him. And if y'all are liking that energy as well, you already know the drill. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel.